you are like Tool Shed Art Club in a nutshell. You're really doing it.
You're making art in a tool shed.
Yeah, when I saw you guys in the hallway, or I mean your office. You told me what it's all about, and I said, well, yeah, I make art, I guess you could say, and I'm literally in a tool shed. It's Monster Beast, it's called. But they took out the caffeine in the booze one.
Okay.
So
did you ever have Four Loko back in the day?
I was just gonna say it was kind of like I think Four Loko. They still sell them, but I don't think they're.
I was in high school when that stuff was at its peak.
Do they not sell it with caffeine because people will die?
With Four Loko, some with Four Loko. If you look at it and you look at the alcohol content, don't ask me how I know, but it's like 6 beers in a can.
Yes. Oh. That's what I drank that night that I threw.
In just a can like that?
It's
a little bit bigger, like a
24-ounce can.
Yeah.
That's what you see. I didn't know. I've been drinking over 3 years, so I'm kind of out of the.
You're not really missing out.
The fun, like when they release all the fireballs or like the fun drinks. You know,
no, it's all White Claw and all that fun stuff.
And it all leads to the same road.
Yeah, I told Austin. I drank a Four Loko and a Cayman Jack one night and threw up. My wife wanted to watch one of the Lord of the Rings movies, and I was like, I'm gonna get drunk while we watch this. And so I drank these real quick and then ended up throwing up. And then the next day, Austin called me to talk about the podcast, and I'm like, I think I'm gonna stop drinking. Which I'm not. I'm just gonna stop drinking to get drunk.
Or stop drinking Four Lokos.
Yeah, that's an easy one to
Four Lokos sounds like it will give you the worst hangover on earth.
It does.
That's not even a name that shields.
It does. I think it's full of sugar as well. It's bad.
Like, have you guys ever drank a Steel Reserve? Or have you ever seen them?
Oh, my dad's pretty big on them.
So when I lived out in California after high school, there was always like the True Indians. They worked at the 7-Elevens, just like in The Simpsons.
Right.
And they just did not care. And I had an ID. I mean, I was 19, but I found this guy that kind of looked like me, this ID on the road. But he was like 38. And I would show it to him, and they would just sell me Steel Reserves. And I've never had that bad of a hangover in my entire life.
You're probably the only one buying it.
After,
thank God.
You would drink. It was as thick as molasses, and you would just take them down and like shudder after each drink.
I guess when you're 19, it's drink.
That does not matter when you're 19.
Yeah, because they were only back then $1 for a 24, and it was like 13% alcohol.
Yeah,
or whatever.
There's only been one day in my life where I was drunk all day from morning until night, and that was when I worked at the Budweiser wholesaler, and the Four Loko guys were in town, and we were sampling Four Loko products at like 7:30.
You and Four Loko have a history.
Yeah, I do. Yeah.
Four Loko, if you're watching this, we'll take a case.
Yeah,
might as well.
We drank all day, just doing samples, and we go out to lunch and have more, and then after work, I was like, I'm just gonna keep this rolling. And I spent the whole day drunk that day. So shout out to Four Loko. I remember one of the guys was like, yeah, when I come back into town, we'll have to hang out. And I remember thinking, oh, geez, this guy's probably going to ask me if I can get him Coke. And I'm like, well, maybe not. And then I was thinking, maybe I would be the bigger fool for not expecting the Four Loko guys to ask me for Coke. You know what I mean? I mean, it's Four Loko, so.
I already have Four Lokos. I don't think they need anything else.
And you've consumed these?
Yes.
Okay.
Like the original one with the energy? With the energy stuff in it?
It was just last year, actually, unfortunately.
Oh, okay.
'Cause it was one of those like, hey, we're drinking Four Loko, and then good morning. What's going on?
We're drinking Four Loko.
Yeah, so.
Nice. Well, we got Kyle on today to talk about you are like Tool Shed Art Club in a nutshell. You're really doing it. It's unique, and it is in a tool shed. So
you're making art in a tool shed.
Yeah, when I saw you guys in the hallway, or I mean your office, of the office, and you told me what it's all about, and I said, well, yeah, I make art, I guess you could say, and I'm literally in a tool shed. So, currently in my garage, but it is a 1-car garage, so it feels like a shed. building another garage now to expand. It's kind of taken off to that point. So, yeah, it's been a lot of fun. I enjoy it. And we've got some art to display to unveil for you guys today.
Yeah.
I think it's going to be.
Yeah, let's unveil it so we can have it in the background.
Well, yeah.
For the first time, and then gonna get into your story of how
For sure.
why you got into this.
Cool. Let's do it.
For sure.
Let's check it out.
The unveiling.
All right. So, Mike, you're a great wrapping. It's kind of like when you go to Dad's for Christmas.
Yeah, this is.
That's how I wrap.
Well, I'm just gonna.
He's got to plug it in. You can't look. You're.
Look at it here first.
I'm looking.
Oh yeah, that is awesome, man.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh yeah, baby.
That looks awesome.
Dude, that is so cool. I knew it when you said electric blue.
Yeah.
I was like, that's
ice blue.
ice blue. That's even better. Yeah, when you said ice blue, I was like, that is the color. That is amazing, man.
Yeah. So that is my my sponsorship as well. I think we said,
Yeah.
hey,
Yeah. Do you have a
I don't any
website,
money
by
to
the way?
sponsor, but hey, I'll give you a sign and you guys
Yeah.
can just have it on all the time. I think that works good.
Yeah.
Plus, it's neat to have. You kind of got the new effect for your studio. And
Oh
Yeah, it's even cooler than I thought. But I knew it'd be cool because I saw, Karen's smoke shop. You did the neon sign for that.
It's so
And-
bright.
Yeah,
too,
and
like-
that's a great sign too. I
It's
like that
hilarious.
sign.
The other night I was laughing because I was driving and get to the street, and again, like a block away, the whole street's pink. It's so like I was just like,
Yeah.
it's super
that was a fun
bright.
one.
And not only that, but it is the exact. I mean, even everything is the exact
Yeah, your font.
font. Like, because that's just I hand drew that, and then put it in or on the computer. But I gave it, but it's identical.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. So
Yeah. that
what is
amazing.
the name of your neon business and do this?
Yeah, no, it's lighted up signs, just lighted ups on my card. We do, I say we, but we do the signs and do the house lights, roof lights, things like that. You see the permanently installed lights. That's been big. We try and get people to start on that early versus when it's cold out, October, November, start wanting to put Christmas lights up. But yeah, it just really started out of just a love for lights. Like I just love light.
Yeah.
And about 4 years ago, it started out where I wanted to program one single light to flash. I just wanted it to blink. And there's a computer program called Arduino. It's a little microcontroller that it's open source and you can make it do all kinds of stuff. And they sell little kits on eBay, Amazon for $40, $50. And I bought one of those. And again, I just wanted to make the light blink. And so you put a code in there and it starts blinking a little light. And I'm like, that's cool. What can I do now? How can I make lights turn on? And I just dove into it and kept going. And not even a year later, I had a giant Christmas light display in Wahoo set up on the side of the building where it would dance to the music. And
I
had
remember
all
that.
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that too. We were
Yeah.
here. Yeah.
So I
took the
did
kid
that.
by. Yeah, I
Yeah,
took
you
the
sit
kid
outside
by to
with
watch
your-
it.
Yeah, with the radio. So I did that,
Yeah.
and then believe it or not, that got kind of boring. It's kind of like, I need something a little more effect. So I really took that and just went into making these signs, and that started in 2021, where I'd been doing some of the light stuff for a while, but went to a wedding and walked in and I saw this style of light. With their name. And I walked in, I looked at it, and the first thing I said to my wife, I said, "Oh, look at that light." And she's like, she kind of.
What does your wife think about your love
she
of
kinda-
lights?
yeah,
Because you
she-
know how wives think
Yeah,
that
yeah.
like we have like men have such weird like obscure
Obsessions.
like obsessions or passions or hobbies, where they're
Yeah.
like again with the lights. Was she kind of like that or?
Yeah, well, I remember she kind of looked at me like, kind of like, oh no, here's something else you're gonna get into.
Yeah.
And I had to get close. Like I wanted to get close to this light at night. So I'm looking and I couldn't quite get close enough, but I had an idea of how it worked. And course, then went and just scoured the internet, YouTube, everywhere, just scouring how to find out how to do these lights.
Yeah.
And there really wasn't much out there of actually how to do it. And I kept digging and researching and was just literally printing out the design. Like on this one, I would have printed your design on almost like a poster size, glued it to the back of the acrylic or taped it to the back of the acrylic. And then I would have traced that with this certain type of light. So it was kind of crooked. You couldn't really make a straight circle. And it worked okay. I sold a few of those. People thought those were really cool. And I thought, hey, this is great. But then I realized that you can do it with a router, a CNC router. I said, oh, okay, so I bought a CNC router and kind of got it figured out there. And really it took until about earlier this year, late last year, to really figure it out. And I'm still learning all the time with it.
Yeah.
But to really get the technique down at this point where I'm at. But yeah, it literally started with wanting to make a light blink. And then it just took off.
That's crazy.
I couldn't stop it. I still can't stop. I've got ideas, starting with these outdoor signs.
Yeah.
I've seen some around. I give a shout out to Scotty B's LEDs. If you're on Instagram, check out Scotty B's LEDs, even Facebook. Scotty B is a guy in Ohio.
Okay.
And he was big into this community that sells the router. The router is, again, an open source router. It's kind of a home kit you put together. And he started making all these cool signs and putting them out, and you could go in and follow him and see what he's done. And everybody's like, how's he do that? How's he do that? And so I reached out to him just earlier this year and said, hey, man, I got to come check out your stuff. Where are you at? He's like, I'm in Ohio. He's like, come check it out. I said, all right, fine.
Oh, wow.
I said, I'm going to get a ticket. I'm going to come out and I'm going to shadow you for a day.
That's awesome.
And so he said, come on out.
Dude, that's cool, man. Wow.
Yeah.
I love that.
So
you're like, I'm coming to Ohio.
Yeah,
you didn't care where he was.
That's so cool.
Yeah, and
You just told your wife, you're like, it's the lights.
Yeah,
Just
I was
take
drawn
me to the
light.
airport.
Yes, I couldn't. So I ended up going to Ohio in late April and hanging out with Scotty B. And the guy is great. He's so much fun. So creative. I mean, he literally drives around in a car around his area of Ohio and Toledo, and he's got Scotty B's LEDs on the back of his car. Everybody's hollering Scotty B as you drive by. Like, it's great. It's so much fun.
Well, Scotty B is a cool name.
It
It's
is.
just, it's fun to say.
Yeah.
Like, if you have, I'm kind of jealous because Scotty B, that's probably why people are screaming. I want to scream it.
Yeah.
I don't even know him.
Yeah.
Scream out
And when you
Scotty
see
B.
him and hang out with him, it's
So
Scotty
does
B.
he have on his vehicle, is it lit up or is it just the decals?
It is a little bit. He's got, he picked me up. He drives a drift car, literally drives a drift car. He picked me up from the airport in a drift car where he's got the 5-point harness.
Yeah.
And I'm like, do I need one? I kind of felt like I did after some of the rides he took me on in his car. But
So he picked you up wearing a harness.
yeah, in his car, because
Yeah.
and his steering wheel comes off. Like, to get out of his car, he has to take the steering wheel off.
Jeez.
Yeah.
It's a race car. He picked me up in a race car.
Yeah, and you were just meeting this guy.
Yeah, it
and
was
he,
kinda like-
he picked you up in a race car and he's strapped in a harness. So
Yeah.
you probably, did you at one time wonder if you were going to live?
I kind of, yeah. It
Not
was-
like he was going to kill you,
No, no.
but like in the car
Oh
going
yeah,
fast.
yeah, definitely. But then, if I was a little scared at one point, we were in this parking lot checking out his lights, and he's like, "Anybody here?" And he takes me on this kind of drift cruise through this parking lot.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, it's definitely an experience drifting in a car. It's a lot of fun, but it's kind of scary because it's like that pole's coming, and he knows he's gonna miss it, but I don't, and so. Yeah, it was interesting.
Dude, Scotty B sounds awesome.
Did you tell your wife when you talked on the phone that night that you were picked up in a race car? Did you save that bit?
No, I took, when I saw him pull up, because I never had met him.
Yeah.
Honestly, I didn't even know what he looked like.
Yeah.
This is how crazy, it's a crazy like story, because I thought he looked like somebody else that was on all these videos.
Yeah.
And he picks me up, and I'm like, well, which race car are you going to pick me up in? Because he's always got videos of him in his drift car. But he never a picture of him. He's kind of like a masked singer type thing. You know?
Okay, yeah, he's mysterious.
Yeah, and it was, and so I'm at the airport waiting, and all I see is this, I think it's a Nissan. Scotty, don't get mad if it wasn't a Nissan. But I'm like, oh, yeah, that's got to be him. And then I saw the back. It's got Scotty B's LEDs. I knew it was. And he gets out of the car, and he's definitely, unique persona about him. He's great. Again, great guy. He's definitely not what his persona is. You see him and you think one thing, and he's a true don't judge a book by its cover. He's great.
So did he help you, like after you went and learned from him directly, did you feel like your knowledge of this just like really grew, or did he help
it
you
was
out a lot?
more, I taught him a few things and he taught me more. And it was really a matter of taking what he had done and being able to apply it and get some ideas for what I do. Because we both have a few different styles, different types of lights we use. He doesn't like the types of lights I use. I don't like the ones he uses, just because it's what we learned on.
Exactly.
But the construction of it and really the marketing, he's a genius marketer. Again, if you check out his Instagram page, he's got great videos, a lot of fun music, really cool edits and things like that. And so I learned that. He essentially sold me an iPad because he does everything on an iPad for presenting to his customers.
Oh, nice.
And so I learned a little Procreate on the iPad, so to draw and show things. So we learned a lot from him. I was there literally just a day, like a full day, one evening and then one day and then took off back. We just cruised around in a drift car, went to these different stores, and it was a lot of fun.
So what is the difference of what lights does he use? So you guys
there's not to get too in the weeds, but there's a Gen 1 and a Gen 2 of these lights. Gen 1 has its place, I feel, and I've used them a few times, where the lights are in the silicone already. So the lights are made in a silicone housing, kind of gives it the diffused look. I use a Gen 2, which the silicone actually snaps into the track that's routed.
Okay.
So I put the lights in first to do my soldering and then put in the silicone color over the top. Some people will say it's double the work, which it kind of is because you're putting lights in and then silicone in. But I feel it's easier. I feel it's a little cleaner. So there's just...
Yeah.
And all of our talk about alcohol at the beginning wasn't for nothing, because this is a good idea for people who have like a neon that's burnt out. So being in the bar industry, I fixed neons if I have the parts for them. But if you have like the glass bust, it's going to be really hard to replace that. There's very few people that can still do something like that, but you've got a good alternative. You can make up that design yourself.
Right. So because how does normal neon work? You were kind of explaining that to me when you were telling me what you did.
I honestly don't know. It's
gas, right?
It's glass and gas.
Yeah. Okay.
And each color is a specific type of gas, because different gases give off different color.
Yeah.
So it's not necessarily a color of glass and then just a white, glow behind it. It's actually a different neon or a different color.
Did you collect neons before with being in the lights and stuff?
I never really, didn't really like it or have a real draw to neons.
Just because of I didn't realize the gas. That seems so complicated.
Yeah, it is. And so it's truly an art. So I don't like to say mine are neon. It's easy to describe it that way, but neon is a true art. I mean, there's still guys that do it. There's not many around. That is a true art. Mine is, I plugged into a computer. It's still a lot of work, but it's definitely not the work
like
that
where
these guys are doing.
Yeah, do you have to make the gases like in your bathtub? Like if you want to start in your tool shed, you got all this, pump the gas in right at the right time.
Right.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna go down a rabbit hole. I'm just
you
curious
are
about it.
Find out.
Yeah, here's a little fact in Nebraska with neons is that the wholesalers of the alcohol companies technically own them. You can't really give them to the bars. They're supposed to buy them, I believe. And neons now are hundreds of dollars. And so you basically loan them out. And so we would have, like one time, there's a bar I had a key to, and it closed down. Like I showed up to take the order, and she's like, "Oh, we decided to just close the business over the weekend." And my manager's like, "Get in there right now and take everything off the wall. Like take it now," because and by the time I'd gotten there, they already had where a bar would close, And then the employees would just start grabbing stuff off the wall and taking it home with them.
Huh.
And so, yeah.
And they'd
so-
probably break them in the meantime.
Yeah. You have to be so. I was telling you, there was one time I went to Decatur, which is an hour basically from where I was at, and I had to go 3 times because I had 3 signs break just on the way up there, and that's just like a straight shot. I mean, it's not like I had some crazy bumpy road or whatever. I mean, they're just so neons are so delicate. That glass is like paper thin, really.
Yeah.
Like when you really like look at it, it is super thin.
Which is crazy because if they're well taken care of, I mean, they last forever.
They really can last. Yeah, that's kind of their thing, is they will last forever. Usually you'll have, I think, the electronic side of it might go out, but as long as the gas, as long as the bulb stays intact, they'll last forever. And yeah, that's where I can come in, and I've done it. Some people say, oh, I used to have this neon sign, or I used to have this, and can you recreate it? I'm like, absolutely. I can actually make it look a little better because I can connect the ends, right?
Yeah.
So a neon sign wouldn't have, the D wouldn't be connected because there'd be 2 ends to it.
Oh,
because
right.
You'd have to have a curve and it has to end. So, but yeah, to recreate a sign is relatively easy. I've got simple, again, open source program on my computer. Inkscape is all I use. Very simple, straightforward. I don't use Photoshop or don't pay for any of that kind of stuff. I probably should sometimes, but I'm just drawing outlines. I don't really need to.
Right. Yeah.
Whole.
If you can get it done with what you have, what's the point of spending the money to upgrade?
Yeah.
So let's say like this sign specifically, what's the trickiest part about, like, what was the trickiest part about that one?
On this one, the O's.
Okay.
The O's are hard. A circle is hard. The smaller the circle, the harder.
Really?
You can see on the O's, if you look close, it's tough to when they connect.
Yeah.
Just because when you connect a circle, you got to have the right angle cut because you're cutting two straight edges and trying to make them line up.
Right.
So you got to kind of have an angle. So I usually cut the O's or circles 3 or 4 times before I get them right. So. And now, of course, that I've been doing this, my Instagram feed is full of how-to videos now. It's like, oh, where were these 2 years ago? And I was actually trying to figure it out.
Yeah.
Primarily, they're places trying to sell the neon. But there's one in particular, they've been great to work with. They're always like, oh, DM me for more info. And I'm like, okay, why not? And it's like, send me your WhatsApp. Okay, why not? And then they send you kind of their secrets, and I suppose they're just harvesting all my info, but whatever. So now I've got
but you have the secrets.
I have the secrets now that we're like.
China is coming at us from all angles, I'll tell you what.
WhatsApp is whatever, I guess. So
what is, so then we said earlier, you did the neon sign for a liquor and smoke shop here in town, Karen's, and which I walked into her place the other day.
Yeah.
And I was like, yeah, you picked a hard time to open with that name.
Right.
Because she opened literally when Karen
became
was a slur.
Right.
So, but, how did you end up making her sign? And then I know that you had told me that you've made the signs for Frank's Pizzeria in Omaha. Like, how did you end up starting to make these signs for businesses?
It started with, some of the ones here in town, some of the local businesses started after going and hanging out with Scotty B, which he says he hates being called Scotty B, but because it's not his name. Well, his name's Scott.
But he has it on his car.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So he's still, it's like, okay.
He's embraced it
right.
Begrudgingly.
After hanging out with Scott, yeah.
Yeah, it is. But after meeting with him, and I said, cool, I was able to design, with his help, design them up on the iPad.
Yeah.
And to present them. Because it's one thing to walk in there and say, hey, I want to make a sign for you. I want to put it on the side of your building. Trust me, to look really good. So you kind of have to have a something a little bit to show. Yeah. And so after I got back from him, I kind of had the confidence to really just pound the pavement and walk around like a salesman. And, the one thing that's great with selling these signs or selling the light is it's a tangible asset that people love. It makes people feel good when they look at, the bright sign, the bright colors.
Yeah.
I stopped at a business the other day, and she had heard about my signs, had seen some work I'd done for another local business, and I just stopped in. I didn't even know she was the owner. I said, I'm just stopping by. I want to drop off a card. if you guys are in the market for a sign, if you can pass this along. And she goes, oh, awesome. I saw your stuff. I've been wanting to get a hold of you. And yes, I'm the owner. And it's just fun to, sell a product that's people really love and really enjoy. And it's best like your guys' reaction when we plug this one in.
Yeah.
Like I'd love to see I should have looked at your face. I was too busy plugging it in. But people are so excited. Their eyes just light up. And to me, I get I'm kind of dull to it anymore. Although I turn this one on and the colors really pop together.
Yeah.
The ice blue and the orange is really
it just
cool.
looks so good. Yeah.
So, it's really just pounding the pavement.
I love that, what you said, though, about just selling something that people are excited about.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure we've all sold things in our lives where we're like, we don't want to. We don't really care for it. It brings no excitement. People are like, I guess I need this.
Yeah.
But like with this, I'm like, you're like,
dude, I sold pre-need plants for a funeral home before, so I can't, go. I can't imagine.
I was in college in Kearney, and this is just as the internet is coming up. This would have been in the year 2000.
Yeah.
And it was in the basement of a building where it was a call center selling Omaha steaks.
Oh,
yeah.
I worked at Omaha Steaks too.
Did you sell them on the phone?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so you sell them on the phone, and then we'd also sell like the warranty plans for appliances.
Yeah.
And, so you just got the dialer and you're just dialing. And of course, this was when people would still actually answer the phone because there was no wasn't a caller ID, at least, that you would, now it'd be so tough to do that. But yes, I've kind of sold a little bit of everything. I've always been an entrepreneur.
Because you have a fireworks stand.
Yeah, we run a fireworks stand.
That's another thing, like the lights, that when you sell, like people are excited about.
Yeah. Now the lights last a little longer, hopefully.
Yeah.
But people are excited. People are excited about them. But yeah, it's just my wife is the one with the stable employment, I guess you could say.
Yeah.
Okay. She has the benefits. She has the job where we know exactly what's coming in each month.
Nice.
And fortunately, I'm one that she's allowed or has put up with me being this month is great. Okay, honey, this month's not so great. But that's the way I've worked for the past 20 years.
Yeah.
And so it's, to me, I'm not really reliant upon, I'm making X this month. I know I got to make, so much, but it's been fun, and so it's definitely paid off. Otherwise I wouldn't be still doing it, if I was making nothing. It's afforded my family to keep, make a living and enjoy it at the same time. So it's been a lot of fun.
Do you have a website?
I don't. I just have a Facebook page. I should probably jump on a website.
Do you know how to make one?
Yeah, I've had a few in the past.
Okay, I was gonna say I could help you with that, but yeah,
Wix. Wix, I guess I can go on and make one.
I'll tell you what, I made ours
Google.
on. This is the first time I've ever used Google on mine, and it's like you probably had a MySpace back in the day.
Yeah,
they made it super easy. I've used Squarespace, I've used WordPress, but the Google domain was super easy to use. So I would recommend that. Because for like $15, you get the domain, and then it pretty much comes with like the website. I believe. Yeah, I don't think you have to pay any extra, and if you do, it's not much. But it's super. Yeah, it's very, very easy.
Now you say MySpace was easy. Do you remember you had to like go in and generate code? You had to go in and like generate the long code to copy and paste it into.
I don't remember
MySpace?
doing that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about
and,
that. That whole thing when that first took off, it was so new. No one really knew what was going on. And it was around the time when I got married, so what, 06, 07, 08. I think that's when it came out. It was around that area, because I remember I accepted everyone that requested a friend.
Right.
That requested to be friends. I just went down and accepted them. Never even looked at like the photos, because I didn't understand. Didn't realize that like more than half the people I accepted were just probably, prostitutes. And so my wife like gets on like her MySpace and is like going through my friends, and it's just like the longest list of hundreds of barely clothed women. And I'm like,
with Russian names.
Yeah. And she's like, what is that? I'm like, I don't understand. I go, I just accept everyone. She's like, you got to clean out this spam. So I had to go in there. Delete it out.
And then you could rank your friends.
Yeah.
And you had to make sure that like you had your right top friend.
Yeah.
You couldn't have your ex-girlfriend anywhere in the top 6 or 8. You had to make sure you had that cleaned up.
Do you remember who's in your top 5?
I don't.
I don't either.
I've tried to it's lost in the internet somewhere.
It is. It's kind of lost in my mind
Paige
because it came and went so fast.
And you had a music that would come up, like the music
Oh,
on your
yeah.
landing page. Like when you'd pull up your page, you could change the music. Like I think I had Papa Roach. On my landing page.
That's nice.
Yeah.
But cut my life into
No, it was
pieces.
like it was Forever, I think.
Okay.
So it was kind of like a soft rock coming into my page. Like
Yeah.
it was fun though, but you had to go in and generate.
What about the background? What'd you have for like your background picture?
I don't remember. I think it was kind of like some scrolling,
Something
scrolling
cool.
look. Yeah, I wish we could pull up a MySpace page.
Your wife and Adam had to be in your top 5, I would imagine.
Yeah,
They had
and
to
I
be.
don't even recall even making the top 5. I mean, I'm sure I did.
This guy had prostitutes in his.
Yeah.
Worried about
They're
the-
all
All
Russian
the-
chicks.
yeah, they're all 6. They're all the top 6. So I was like,
I got into MySpace at the tail end of it, and then Facebook. I remember people on Facebook would be like, Facebook sucks, I'm going to MySpace. People on MySpace, but I'm going to go to Facebook if you guys want to chat. Because there was, back then you had like MSN Messenger. That was a blast. Did you ever use that? That was awesome.
Yahoo Chat, Yahoo Messenger was. You would go in the dorms, remember in the dorms in college, nobody really had a computer in their room yet.
yeah.
So you had the lab, the computer lab that you would go down to, and 1 a.m. it'd be packed. Everybody's down in the computer lab, on the computers and the big.
With
Apple
us, it's like
IIs.
on summer vacation, I go to my friend's house, and we'd be on MSN Messenger all day. And we'd just be playing Lil Wayne was huge at that time.
Right.
Like Dakota 3 was out, so we'd be playing that all day. So I know like every lyric to every song to this day because we listened to it nonstop all summer. Like that was a good time. That was good internet years.
In 02 or 03, when I lived out in California and I was just learning how to do stand-up, they had internet cafes. And I performed stand-up at 2 a.m. at an internet cafe on Sunset.
Was it
and
just audio only? Or
No, because the internet was so new, like how you were talking about how everybody would go there.
Okay, all right.
This was a place where you would come to use a computer in the internet. And it was called the Internet Cafe. And it was 2 a.m. and I'm doing stand-up, and there's just like 2 homeless guys in there they were trans. I think trans is fine, right?
I would just say
trans
trans.
is fine,
Yeah. Okay. So they're trans, and then this homeless guy, and I'm just trying to tell these jokes, and the 2 trans people, they're yelling stuff at me, just really drunk. And then the homeless guy's like, "I'm gonna kill you," and I'm like, "What?" He's like, "I'm gonna kill you," and I'm like, "You're gonna kill me?" And he's walking towards me, and I'm thinking, I'm like, he's gonna kill me. I'm gonna die in an internet cafe at 19. And then he gets up to where I'm standing with the mic, and he goes, "Can I have a quarter?"
No way.
Yeah, and I go, I don't have a quarter. He goes, "Whatever," and then he left and walked out the door.
So you're performing and you're paying people to listen to your jokes.
Yeah, no kidding.
Being the homeless guy. But I forgot that story until you brought up
internet
the
cafes
internet dorm thing, and I remember
it
that
was
was
wild.
You had to go to a place.
Yeah. It was. I can't even imagine a world where people walk down the street with no phone in their hand.
Yeah.
It was a beautiful time, though, wasn't it?
Really, yeah.
I loved it.
I feel like every time I tell it, my kids ask me. I've got kids that are 6 and 9, and my 6-year-old asked me. He says, "Dad, when were the olden days?" And I said, "I don't know. So what do you mean?" He says, "Well, on Bluey, his dad goes back and he's in the 80s. Is that the olden days?" And I said, "Yeah, it's kind of the olden days." He goes, "I wish I was in the olden days." And I think my kids like the concept of going outside and just playing,
Right.
just
without worrying
latchkey,
about being
like just
here we
go.
go.
Yeah, or
Yeah,
just
no, dude.
kick them outside and they go and just
yeah.
see you later, and just come back. Because there was the concept of cartoons only being on one day a week to my kids just blows their mind.
Oh man.
They're like, what would I do the rest of the day? Like, what did you do? I'm like, we didn't watch TV. I'm like, honestly, I don't know what we did. Like, I don't remember.
Just pure imagination. I mean, I remember like Saturday morning cartoons. You would watch them. You wouldn't even like all the cartoons that were on. And then the rest of the day, it was just go do whatever.
There was a lot of boredom with childhood, I think, pre-internet and constantly being entertained, and I think that that's okay and that's good, because that does lead to creativity and wonder and things like that. I think it's okay to be bored, but then again, the cool thing with the internet though is also there's just nonstop learning. Like you can learn how to make signs like you couldn't have done
internet,
that. You know what I mean? Like pre-internet, you probably could have.
You would have never discovered Scotty B.
No,
think
Scotty
about that.
B, exactly.
He was the pivot.
That's right. Scotty B was my inspiration. So
he does this full time? Like that's what he does?
Yeah, he does more this is what I consider an indoor sign, the clear acrylic. He does what you would see like the Karen sign you talk about, or the Eagles Club sign down here. He does the big signs, large 8-foot format, very big signs, very cool stuff. So
no, is that your goal? You want to do like what's your?
I'd like to get into more of the bigger signs. It's a little more of a challenge, but once I expand my shop, I can have more room to do that.
Do you think will you ever go into bars and just pitch them what you do and try to make signs? Have you thought about that, or is that you'd probably rather just do the bigger projects?
Bigger projects. I mean, it's one of those that you can go and chase these large projects, but there's a lot of small projects out there that pay the bills in the meantime. And so most of my business though are people just they want a sign for their wedding, or they want something for their man cave or their garage. I can make pretty much whatever within reason. So that's really what my primary focus is now. So
I'm just thinking about all the rural towns that I was a beer salesman at, and how they would have signs from the 80s that would, break, or something would go out, or something would bust and they couldn't fix it. And at that point, they're kind of SOL, but, you have a solution for people like that, if they want to remake it or make it even better, like you had said. Like if you go to Tacoma, places like that, like more, like I said, more rural areas, you'll find amazing like Budweiser signs. It's funny that you say that, because I remember I tried starting up like a vintage Budweiser Instagram for a while, and then I deleted it because I got 0 followers on it. But I started it because I would go into all these bars and they would have these really cool neons. I was like, man, these are just so cool. There has to be other people out there who think this is as cool as I am. So I'd like take pictures and post them, and
that would be neat to go in. It's one of those I get almost so busy at times.
Yeah.
Where
they would have like guitars and motorcycles. I mean, the state, fishing, all kinds of stuff, and they come out with cool stuff every now and then. But the old school stuff is awesome. And so if I owned something like that and it burnt out, I would be like, oh man, how do I get another one?
Yeah,
so
and really
perfect solution.
My pricing would be I guess I find it fair. A lot of people think they seem to shell out their money just real easy, like it's a good deal. So I guess I'm fine with
I'll tell you right now, a new neon's at least you're looking at a minimum of $300. Like that's probably what the wholesaler pays, is about $300. And then if you get into the vintage stuff, you're talking way more than that. Yep. So, and like I said, that's also a product where if it's paper thin, so if you mess up or don't even, you could buy it and on the way home it could bust.
Right. I mean, you saw me here. I'm banging this thing around and setting it on the table, so it's not that big a deal.
They're like, it's durable.
Yeah. No, I can't drive anywhere now. Every logo I look at, every business I look at, I'm like, that would be cool.
Yeah.
Oh, I need to talk to them. Oh, they need to light it up. Even at the fair this past, a couple weeks ago here in Saunders County, all I did was look at every ride, and I'm like, we need to light this up.
Well, hey, my father-in-law is the president of the association.
Well,
so
I was going to talk to somebody afterwards.
I'll get you in touch with them.
And we'll talk about because now they literally, Saunders County Fair is great, by the way. So anybody listening, it's all run. Volunteers.
Yep.
They own all the equipment. They've maintained the equipment. Some people have their concerns with that, but I actually think it's probably better that you own it, because you can maintain your stuff a lot better than the traveling circus. So
For sure, yeah. I mean,
So-
it's in storage. It's obviously they have so much inspection with it too, and with my family essentially running it, like it's a year-round thing. Like they're constantly out at the fairgrounds doing something. You know what I mean? Just all the time. My father-in-law is a mechanic. He's worked for the city, for the state, or for the county and stuff forever. Just long-time mechanic. And yeah, they definitely know what they're doing. But yeah, it's volunteer ran, and what people don't realize is, although it is volunteer run, they have to have so much insurance. And they were telling me how much it costs to paint the rides. Like they could take the profit from 1 year and it could all go to painting rides. Like that's a huge expense. And then obviously the insurance is an expense. And I don't think people quite understand that, because they think, well, it's not volunteer run, so they should have tons of money. It's like, well, you've obviously never ran anything, because you would know how expensive.
Right.
Dude, insurance on something like that is insane.
Well, yeah, it's a very dangerous.
Yeah, dude,
place.
it's a Ferris wheel. Yeah, exactly. It's insane. Plus, you've got the prizes and stuff,
You got
which
demolition derbies.
Yeah,
You got so many dangerous things happening.
it's so much more upkeep than some dum-dums realize. But yeah, it's a lot of work. But yeah, the light thing is a good idea, because paint and lights that goes a long way.
Because they literally have right now, like the octopus, it's some fluorescent fixtures zip tied to the arms.
Yeah.
And I'm looking at that going,
Is it really?
It is.
Yeah.
And
Well, it's light. That can be zip tied. That's okay.
yeah, no, I'm sorry. That doesn't make it sound like zip tied.
The lights in general.
The lights.
Yeah,
The equipment is not zip tied. So let's back that up.
The octopus is held together by plastic.
They're good zip ties though.
Yeah.
They're not. But stuff like that where it's like we could make that more efficient and make it look, because it looks great when it's all lit up. It looks awesome.
Yeah, that's a good idea.
So yeah,
man.
those are some ideas that I've had, and yeah, budget's a thing where it's like, okay, I'm not going to do it for free, but can we do something in partnership?
Yeah,
and that's why I look to a lot of places, whether it was like this. It's almost, and that's another. Let's bring Scotty B back up. Scotty B deals in cars and car parts and race car parts, and a lot of his stuff is trade.
Oh, nice.
Hey, I'll do a sign for your business, but I need 4 new tires.
Okay.
Things like that. So it's kind of like the old barter, an
It's
old
the
bartering
artist's way,
system.
man. It's the artist's way.
Yeah.
As long as the world doesn't end and we still have electricity, I can still barter with my lights. So we're still good. So as long as the grid's still up, I'm still going to be able to barter.
Yeah.
So
so have you had any weird requests?
and not yet.
Okay.
If you go and
And
search,
weird, I just like maybe just strange, or like why would anyone want that to be?
no, if you go online and you look at some of these Instagram pages of these Chinese companies, I don't know if they've actually had the requests, but they have some very provocative signs.
So the Chinese
Very
like to
productive.
sell. I think that their one website, remember where they thought there was like trafficking on it for a while? Like children would come in the furniture. It was a conspiracy.
Wayfair.
But
You gotta cut that part too. We can't talk about Wayfair.
Is Wayfair
I don't
still
know,
around?
man.
Wayfair's still around. Yeah, it's actually great.
But the same thing. Yeah, they always have like provocative pictures for their.
Yeah, it's kind
that
of
pop on your
odd.
Facebook.
Yeah.
That's like
Oh yeah.
a bunch of eggshells that are stacked together.
Yeah.
That look like a penis.
yeah. No, there are some weird ones out there, but I haven't had any weird requests yet. So if you got a weird request, I'm more than open to it. I'm really not gonna.
You know what would be cool? Like a Bigfoot one.
Like the Bigfoot outline.
The
Yeah,
Bigfoot outline with brown.
Yeah, well, you see the guy that's selling. Well, I can't do brown.
Oh, you can't. Okay.
So those are some
what
of the-
color? Yeah, let's
Yeah.
talk about your color
That's
options.
it. Yeah. What?
Yeah.
Why can you not do brown? That's interesting.
There's no brown LED light.
Oh really?
No. So your neon lights or your LED lights are primarily you really get into the primary colors.
Yeah.
Red, green, blue is always the main. And then you get into these ice blue. There's some yellows, pinks. I'm trying to think what else is out there. Regular.
Is there a
Not so
technical
blue.
reason why they can't, or is it just they don't make it?
I'm not sure. I think it's because, again, LED lights are made with the colors are a combination of colors. So a lot of times when they're turning on a white is really red, green, and blue all together. right? So it's a mix of all the
Oh, yeah.
colors into one. So
Wow.
a lot of times I'll do a warm white. When you do a warm white, there's warm white and bright white. So like the O's on look are the bright white.
Okay.
The warm white looks more of a brown when it's mixed with other colors beside it. You'll kind of get a brown effect to it. Your eyes will look like that. I get a lot of requests for black, and I'm like, I can't do black. Like, I can turn it off.
I mean, yeah, that makes
Yeah.
sense because black really isn't a color.
I almost
You know,
asked-
to be lit up. To
yeah, I
look
almost asked that,
amazing.
and then I thought, nah, that's a dumb question
Yeah.
because it's black. You wouldn't have that.
Yeah.
But so
No.
people
So you
actually,
like want a sign that doesn't plug in?
Yeah, essentially, it's like I could do that, and so I get that request more often than not. I have to bite my tongue because nobody knows, what can or
Yeah.
can't be done. But it's
what
like
about purple? Can you do?
you can do purple.
Yeah, because Karen's sign is purple, right?
it's
It's
pink.
kind of yeah,
Oh,
it's
it's
pink.
pink,
Pink, yeah.
So does the purple just essentially turn into a black light where you can just see stains?
The blue does.
Oh, really?
Blue blue is it's strange up to your eyes if you have the regular blue. This is ice blue. Regular blue, you can almost see spots in it, and it's just it messes with your eyes. And I don't know what it is that makes it that way. But yeah, when you turn on a blue, everything in the room then it acts like a black light. So you can really see everything pops. Your colors will pop.
That's funny.
Things like that. I don't know about stains. I don't have many stains in my house, so I can't say if it shows.
I would
stains or
like to
not.
plug in a blue into the area where we're filming at here and see.
I don't know if we want to do that.
Yeah,
Especially after
from
some of the
the-
parties they have
yeah.
in here, it's my
Yeah, there's
They lit this place up.
It was lit
party
up.
style.
Yeah. I wanted to pivot a little bit. I was kind of disappointed we didn't get to do this in your studio,
Yes.
because I wanted to go up to the church. Have you been to the Devil at the church?
Oh yeah, the devil in blue jeans.
Yeah. Okay. Good.
What's
Yeah,
that?
Glad you-
yeah. It's the Catholic church that's in town, and it's got this weird stained glass, but it's shaped as a devil wearing blue jeans, is what they call
Yeah.
it. It's very weird.
Is it actually supposed to be like a picture of Satan?
I don't.
We
think-
don't know. I don't know.
I wouldn't think intentionally, but
I
it
don't know what
definitely
it's supposed to be, but that's what it looks like.
From the outside or inside?
definitely from the outside. I haven't been inside, but if you
Yeah,
I'll-
from,
yeah,
from the
next time
outside.
I'd-
Yeah, you can drive by.
Next
yeah,
time
you got to
I-
do it at night. It was a thing in high school. Let's go to Bruno. Let's go check it out. And you
Yeah.
Seriously?
take your dates down and let's go get scared.
Hey, while we're talking about that, isn't there a place somewhere in Nebraska where there's like an angel, and if you look at the eyes, you get in a car accident or whatever? Have you heard of that one?
I don't know.
Have you heard of that? There was a place. I remember my friends, like my dad and his friends, went and they looked at the angel at night, and on the way home they almost got into a car accident. It was like
No.
some folklore that there's a
My-
statue. I'm gonna look it up.
My
Yeah, look it up.
My folklore growing up in Omaha was at Humble Park.
Yeah.
was filled with cannibal albinos
I've heard
that only came out at night.
Have you ever heard that one before?
This one here.
People, that was a legit conspiracy thing, was that there was cannibal albinos at Humble Park.
Yeah, never go to Humble Park at night because there's cannibal albinos.
That's a
that
really
was growing
specific-
up.
Or what about the
Yeah.
stairs? If you
Butt naked albinos. I think they're naked.
have you heard that? Because there's stairs at that park, I believe, and they say like if you count them up one way and you count them down,
Yeah,
there's a difference or whatever.
yeah.
Yeah, Nebraska Angel.
I didn't even
Yeah.
go to Humble Park until I was, in my early 20s.
just to go
And
check
I
it
drove.
out.
I just happened to be driving by it, and I went in there, and I was still, I think, too scarred from all the stories of my childhood.
Yeah,
I was
the
like,
Black
this place
Angel-
is creepy.
It's not Nebraska.
Oh, it's in
Council
Council
Bluffs.
Bluffs. I do know
the
that.
Black Angel. Yeah, they say
Yeah.
that if you like look into its eyes at night or whatever, that it glows and
Oh, that's creepy.
yeah.
There's
Yeah.
also in the area
I've been
there.
to that.
You have been to that?
I have been to that. My wife's grandparents used to live right by there. That's where they grew up.
Dang, yeah, the Council Bluffs Black Angel.
Yeah, the
Um,
Devil in Blue Jeans. I was like, I wonder if you've heard of that. And I'm
Yeah.
glad you did, because that was I was just like I thought of that. I actually messaged a friend of mine, and I took a picture of Google Maps, the street
Yeah.
view, and sent it to him, and he goes, I almost forgot about that. I do
Yeah.
remember the Devil, because we again drive down there, and you have to point your headlights at it because it's kind of up the hill, and you point your headlights at it, and you can see it, and it's so if you Google Earth, go
You're
check
like,
out.
there
I
it
love,
is.
dude. I love that kind of like in Fremont. There was this county road where supposedly, and I don't remember which one it was, where if you pulled up and parked and then you like turn your car off, that you would see like ghosts or whatever. And I think it was just the handprints on a window or whatever would just pop up because the car's off and you're sitting in the car or whatever. But anyway, that was like, I never went and did that, but I always wanted to. I knew a lot of people who, I forget which county road it was, who took the voyage up there. I had a teacher in 10th grade tell us this like really weird story about a house. And if anybody hears this and they have any idea of what I'm talking about, please message Toolshed Art Club on any social media because I want to find it. But she was telling us about how for the speech class, she gave us an example of a speech, and hers was on when she was in high school. They went to this abandoned house, and how it was the same kind of a thing, like a high school trip. People would go out to the house, it was creepy, whatever. Well, they decided to actually go in it, and it was like a haunted house thing. And how she was saying that the wallpaper was really weird, and they took pictures of everything, and she was passing around photos of it. Well, the wallpaper that was weird, she took the pictures of that. She just stuck behind like the original photos. So high schoolers, like once they get their hands on something, they're digging through it. So she passes out the photo book of what the house looks like. And my friends start, taking photos out and looking at it. Dude, this wallpaper was like on the walls was drawings of like weird naked old people. And it was very, very bizarre. Just the weirdest thing ever.
Were they good drawings? Like detailed, or were they like primitive?
Yeah, they were. I just remember it was
Not
so
cave drawings.
Yeah.
It's like whose wallpaper? Like it makes me wonder if there was like some weird occult stuff going on in that house, because who has wallpaper like that? It was
weirdos.
It was the weirdest thing ever. So, you're from around here, right? From
I grew up in Schuyler.
Okay, so did you guys have any folklore out there?
Not really. There was going to Bruno. We'd go to Bruno, and then over
Look
by
at the devil in blue jeans. That was
blue
it.
jeans, and
we went
Linwood,
to
another small. There's a cemetery over by Linwood. That's kind of if you go up there, you'd hear whispering.
Oh,
or
yeah.
something. And so
yeah,
you go up, and I think it was
the
don't
old
know.
farmer. Get off my land.
Yeah.
that was in Rescue.
Oh yeah.
So Rescue, right over by Prague.
Yeah.
Rescue now is like this big deal. Like, let's go run to Rescue. They do a marathon there, and Rescue is a little tiny town. Well, it wasn't even. I don't even know if it was
It's
a town.
ghost town.
You're right.
And then someone bought it.
Right. And I think there's one building there.
Yeah.
Well, the lore at the time was that there's a guy there with a shotgun, and if you pull up into Rescue, he's going to shoot at you. and it was enough that we didn't go to Rescue. It was like, no, I don't want to try it.
Yeah.
I was kind of like,
nah, dude.
of all the stuff we rebelled against, and like, there's the one thing we listened to, I guess, was I don't want to go to Rescue and get shot at. But that was
that story seemed like legit.
Yeah,
it
it
didn't
did
have
seem
anything
legit.
with ghosts, nothing.
No,
it
just
was
seemed
like
just a guy's
an
gonna
old
shoot
guy
you.
is gonna shoot you. We had Balls Cemetery. Balls Cemetery is on Highway.
Balls.
Yeah,
Cemetery?
like BALLZ.
Okay.
No,
All right.
I swear, man. I swear. And it's this haunted cemetery, and it's on the Highway 50, headed south towards Louisville out of Omaha. And then you turn right and head west, but it's this old creepy cemetery, and like the Z is falling and all that.
Wow.
And we would go there in high school, and you would hear stories about people like, I saw the witch,
Right.
or there was ghosts that came, and it was creepy. And there was a house right next to it that they were the ones that owned the property. So that guy got kind of fed up, and I think got to a point where he would shoot someone with a shotgun.
Yeah, I would.
So
I would
people
kinda-
stopped really going there because of that.
At so Barnard Park in Fremont, off that main military road there, Barnard Park used to be a cemetery, and then they relocated all the graves, and so there was always rumor, and this is like Civil War era, so there was always rumors like they didn't get all the graves, and that there's ghosts there. So there was always a thing where if you went there at 3 a.m, you'd see a guy sitting on a bench, like a ghost sitting on a bench. And then the actual cemetery in Fremont, someone got murdered there in like the 70s. And I believe this is true. I always was told it was like traveling gypsies stabbed this dude to death in the cemetery. So I don't know if they ever said it was necessarily haunted as much as people would just joke about getting stabbed.
There's still traveling gypsies in the 70s.
Yeah, no,
I don't
that's
know,
why
man.
I'm
Again, this is all
That's-
this is high school lore, and which is a
in
fascinating.
in Fremont.
Yeah.
in
They said
Fremont,
when they
that's
were
right.
overrun
I
with
want,
gypsies.
yeah, people who hear
I
this,
remember-
yeah, please comment like if you had stuff in your high school, ghost
Or if your
stories
family
or-
was
yeah.
a traveling gypsy.
Yeah, or that in the
'Cause
70s.
that's just a generation.
Yeah.
So they might still be around.
I love hearing the stories like that. It's so funny.
Can
So
you even say?
comment.
I don't think you can say gypsy now.
I don't know
Probably,
anything about. I don't even know
yeah,
what
I
that
don't
really
know
means. To be
rules.
honest,
I
I'm
think
just.
somebody got in trouble for saying gypsy while we keep saying.
What is it? What is it? I don't even know.
I don't know either. I can't even guess as to
Hey,
what.
we're trying our best here.
Trying to
okay?
learn.
yeah,
We're
we're
there,
trying to
teach
learn
us.
about cultures, and we're trying hard here. Okay.
Have you guys
So-
have you ever seen a ghost
No.
or
No.
been in a haunted area? So we
No.
had,
Well, I'll preface it by saying I don't believe in ghosts. Like I went to
yeah.
Jeremiah Johnson's grave, and the lady there is like, if you come out here at night, Jeremiah walks around. She's like, do you believe in ghosts? I'm like, no. She was trying to lecture me on it, and I believe in angels and demons, and I believe that demons can masquerade as humans, but I don't believe in like dead people's souls roaming the earth. But,
Yeah. The when my wife and I first got married, we rented a house in Old Millard
Mhm.
in Omaha by the Dairy Queen and Millard Music. And this house was built in the late 1800s, and it was a railroad house because that's where the railroad came through.
Yeah.
So a bunch of people would stay there. And I guess the front room, it used to have like a big glass window because when people would die, that's where the viewing would be in the person's house. So you would set the body in the casket in the house, and then
in the
people
house
would-
that you guys were staying at, they
yeah,
had,
yeah.
wow,
This is
okay.
like a thing
Yeah.
that they did back then. So then people would come up, pay their respects, look through the window, and be like, "Yeah, that's Todd. He's dead," and leave. So my wife never stayed in this house by herself. Like when I would travel and go do shows and stuff like that, she'd always go to her parents.
Yeah.
And we had our niece one time, and I left, and this was when Blockbuster was still around. So my wife takes our niece, she's at the time 5 or 6, to Blockbuster, rents a movie, and they come back, and my niece looks up at my wife and goes, "I don't want to go in there, Paigey." And my wife's like, "Why?" And she goes, "Because they're always watching us." And my wife's like, "We're going." So they went to the parents' house, but then we only lived there for a year. The lease was almost up, so we had a garage sale.
Yeah.
And this lady comes up to me, and she's like, "You live here?" And I'm like, "Yeah." She's like, "What do you think about the ghosts?" And I'm like, "The ghosts?" She's like, "Yeah, this place is haunted. Me and my daughters used to live here, and the ghosts are in the basement." And I was like, "Oh, cool." And then she just left. That was it. I'm like, "Thanks for the stop by."
Did you ever?
I did not tell my wife that until after we left the
Right.
house.
Did you ever feel anything like when
No,
you
it was the basement was so like dark and had a weird odor, and there was a shower down there. It was horrifying. It was very.
So you thought it was
inexpensive.
spooky?
I thought it was gross.
Yeah,
The
okay.
basement, the upstairs though. I mean, because I lived there for a couple months by myself before we got married, and I don't know. Like one time, there was like just a weird vibe in the bedroom. But I'm like of the thing, like I gotta get some sleep. So if there's a ghost or a demon, whatever, it's just
Just leave me alone.
just
so I can
just
sleep.
do what you got to do because I need to go to bed. That's kind of so my wife would think I was like crazy,
Right.
because I just did not
Yeah.
care.
Does that, going back to this window, is that what picture windows were in old houses?
I believe so. That's what I was.
Because they
told.
all had these. Every old house has a big front window.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
that's where whenever the person
Your family member
living there
died or
you
something.
put them there, and people would walk by and pay their respects.
Old houses are so unique. I like at Buffalo Bill Cody's house here in Nebraska, where he had that view. There's like the viewing room up top. So because they didn't have cell phones or Live 360 to tell somebody, "Hey, I'm almost to your place," so they would just go up to the roof at the viewing area, and they could see out and see how far away their guests were. Is at least what the museum or whatever said the reason for it was. But I think that'd be cool to just have in general, just like if there's a storm rolling in, to go up to that like an all glass
Yeah.
thing at the very top of your house and just watch the storm. That'd be so cool.
There was a name for that. It was called like the Bird's Nest.
Yeah, something like
the
Crow's
Eagle
Nest.
Nest or something.
Yeah.
They would. There's some homes like on the Lake of the Ozarks
Yeah.
that have that, where you can go up to the top and
Oh, I
it's all
think that'd
glass. And
be-
you can look around.
Yeah, that'd be amazing. Yeah.
Yeah, that's what we need. Money so we can just build
Yeah,
cool
just-
stuff like that.
And more neon.
Yeah.
Yeah, get more neon. So what do you? So you don't call them neons, though? You call them LEDs?
I
or-
call it LED neon in
Yeah.
quotes. LED signs. Again, I
LED signs. Yeah,
I don't
that
want
makes
to step on again the art of neon, because some people really get like,
Oh,
it's not neon.
I'm
it's
sure there's
LED.
some old school neon guys that have been
Yeah.
doing it for 40 years.
There's
that
a-
are like, I will come for you.
Yeah, it is. And so there's a guy here in town, and he's got a shop. If you drive down the main road, and he's got a lot of cool old signs in his shop, old true neons.
Is that the guy with the pet monkey?
No,
Oh,
no,
yeah.
it's by the pet monkey there. So, you want to get in the pet monkey? Are we gonna go there?
I just remember when we first moved to Wahoo, because we used to live here, and I'm driving, to the store or gas station, and that dude drives by and the monkey's on his dashboard, and I'm like, there's a monkey driving the car. Like, so forever I used to just tell people that the mayor of Wahoo was a monkey. Like,
Yeah.
people were like, wait, Wahoo, where's that? I'm like, a monkey is in charge. But yeah, I've met that guy a couple times. He was walking the monkey once when me and my son went to the park.
Yeah, we were.
He
At
had the teeth removed, so we can't, bite off faces.
Yeah, it's probably, speaking of insurance, it's not a chimp. It's a small, I don't know what they're called. It's not, but it's like somebody
Yeah.
you'd see that has a pet monkey. But
And they live a long time. It's old.
yeah, I think
That
so.
monkey's like 40 years old.
It
or
wears
something.
a diaper,
Yeah.
which I think would get kind of old, like changing
Change
the
a monkey's diaper
diaper.
every.
Maybe it's
dude.
only when he goes out. I don't.
Yeah.
Is he potty trained? Like I
Yeah.
don't understand.
Yeah.
These are all questions.
These are
We got to
questions.
find the monkey guy.
Maybe he should be on. Maybe he should be on.
Yeah.
That'd be a great podcast. I would listen to. That would be.
Yeah, I want to know because he's had it forever.
Dude,
Yeah.
I'm terrified of primates though, so I would be on edge the whole.
Yeah, this one. It's
I'm gonna make you hold it.
It's
I'm gonna
definitely.
strap you to it.
I don't think it's.
One of those baby carriers on the front.
Yeah,
Oh, so
man,
real close
yeah.
to this monkey.
Yeah, no, I don't know if I want to do that. Yeah.
Yeah, we got to find that guy. So, all right, well, dude, we appreciate the sign. I mean, it's
Yeah,
immortalized now.
hopefully-
You've immortalized the show.
Yeah.
Yeah, I hope you can have a spot to hang it in your.
Oh, we do.
Yeah.
It's actually going to go. I think behind me is
Yeah.
where it's going to go.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna put it on the wall there, and then we'll have you back on for sure once we get it set up. I just didn't have enough space down there right now for 3 people.
Yeah, we'll get you down.
To
We'll
sit,
do the
so-
devil and blue jeans, and we can just
Yeah,
talk
we need to go
about
for a
whatever.
drive, and we'll go check it out.
Yeah.
And have a little
Good deal.
offsite and.
So say all your stuff for people to find you, get in contact with you.
Do
again.
the full pitch right now because we can make this like a separate video for you too. Really.
Yeah.
Now I'm on the spot, and I really can't
Okay.
do this. Yeah,
You just say the-
yeah.
just say the name and the-
Light It Up Signs. If you just go to Facebook, Facebook.com/Light It Up Signs is what I'm under on Facebook. Go in there, message me direct via Messenger. We've got a contact in there, and let me know what you need. Every sign's a little different in price, so I don't really have pricing. People want to know what it costs, but most signs, I'll throw it out there. Most signs are in the $200 to $500 range. That's the average, for your small stuff, for signs like these that are going to hang up in your wall. So they're not cheap, but it's affordable.
Right,
You know,
and they're
so it's not
probably.
like-
I mean, you will never have to worry about it burning out.
No, well, you might.
But I mean, it would probably be.
they're easy to
long,
repair.
Long time.
Yeah, and
Okay.
it's easy to repair if something does go wrong. So
Okay.
that's the nice thing is it's future proof and you can fix it. So
Not filled with gas.
Yeah.
no,
Sorry,
No,
old
no.
school neon guys.
So hey,
sorry,
think
also.
about this: if you're looking for something for your husband or your dad or somebody, if they have always expressed an interest in a neon or wanting a neon, or if they have one that has burnt out, this is the perfect gift for somebody like that. Because again, as somebody from the industry and can speak directly, neons with the gas and the glass are expensive. They're hard to come by. They break in transportation. This is the perfect solution to that.
Not only that, but also just being able to make a replica.
Yeah.
Like if
Yeah.
you have a friend or your husband, whoever it is, and they've always wanted one particular sign or remember something from their childhood,
yeah, some of the
you can
nostalgia.
duplicate it. Yeah.
Somebody sees one that grandpa had or dad had in the shop, and they want to have it look like that again, we can definitely do that. So even with just a simple picture, it doesn't even have to be a clear picture, just something basic, and I can usually put it back together.
That's
so
awesome.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Well, thank you, Kyle. We
Yeah,
appreciate
thanks,
it. And the link also, we'll put it in the
Show notes.
stuff below.
Yeah.
The YouTube
good.
deal. Thanks,
Cool.
buddy.
That works.
Thanks,
Thanks.
Kyle.